Okay, hello everybody and welcome to Mummish, conversation between mums. Now, I've got some lovely faces on the screen right here. I wish you all could see. You probably will anyway, because it's going to come out to you. All right. So my name is Tatiana Ellis, and I'm the podcaster that runs the lovely, lovely Mummish. Now, I'm going to introduce or let them introduce themselves as I go around the screen. And all I really want you to say is your name and what little one that you've got. You can say ages, you don't have to say names, you know, you can say my little sprog, my little brat, whatever you want to say, whatever we're calling them nowadays. Now, let me kick off. I have two wonderful children. One is a man. Yeah. One is a man. My son is 22. All right. And I've got my little one that runs my life, and her name is Notori. It doesn't matter. You probably will see her on everything because she runs my life. And she is 10 going on 20. Yeah, 21, whatever, she's there. So I'm just going to let everybody else introduce themselves, and welcome. I see Karima first on my screen, so let's go around that way. Take your mic, put your mic on, and let's hear a little bit about you.
Okay, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me all? I don't know if you can hear me good, but
Awesome.
I'm trying my best to speak in the speaker. So my name is Karima, and I import and sell natural product from Morocco. I'm a mom of one gorgeous little girl, and her name is Nora.
Thank you so much, Karima. Thank you. Awesome. Let's move around the room, and we have Eve. Eve, I'm not sure what you're busy doing right there, but let's hear from you. You have to unmute. Guys, we've got to remember all these things as much as we can.
Yes, it's true. Hi, everyone. I'm Eve, also known as Kemi Love. I'm a mother of two boys.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much. And next on my screen, we have Bridge.
Hi, everyone. My name's Bridget. I am a mum of four. I've got three girls and a boy. Ages are 11, 10, 6, and 4. 4-year-old, soon to be 5, but she is about 15, really. And she does rule the roost. So, yeah, hands full all the time, but I do love it.
Awesome. Thank you, Bridget. Next on my screen, we have Donna. Donna, would you like to let us know a bit about you?
Hiya, I'm Donna, and I am a mum of 7. I've got 5 boys and 2 girls. My eldest is a boy, and he's 23. Yes, he is 23. I had to remember. And my youngest is a girl, and she is 8. Lovely. No, she's not. She's 9. She had a birthday in January. I got too many. Too many to remember.
Love that. Thank you. Okay, next I've got Naima. Would you like to give us a little bit of information about your life?
Hi there. My name's Naima. I'm a mom of 4, and ages 27, 25, 21 next week, and 19, and a granddaughter who's almost 2, and she is like a tornado in a small person.
Thank you so much, Naima. Awesome. Lovely to hear from you. Okay, all right. Next one, we got Rahima. All right.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Sorry, I've got a bit of a delay here. So my name is Rahima. I am a mom of 1. She's 3, almost 4, maybe 45 in real life. I always say that she's been here before because this kid knows everything and she does everything, and she's just Miss Sass. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know where she got it from either. But yeah, having her alone is like having 3. I do wish to have some more, but I'm telling you, she's amazing. She's a lot of fun. And yeah, I am 1 and counting at some point.
Lovely, thank you. Okay, Carmel, you're next on my screen.
Hi, ladies. So I'm Carmel. I'm a mum of 3. I have a 22, 20, and a 13-year-old, almost 14-year-old. And yeah, I'm just happy to really be here.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Carmel. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Anthea, you're next.
Hi, ladies. Good evening, afternoon. I'm a mum of 2 boys and 2 stepdaughters. They are 11, 17, 9, and 11. Yeah, good times being a mum of a teenage boy.
Yeah, well, like Anthea, just tell everybody where you're hailing from today.
Australia.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woo! That's the beauty of this awesomeness of Zoom and being able to be online. Thank you so much, Anthea. Okay, Viv, you're next.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Viv and I'm a mom of 1. Her name is Nia and she is going to be 14. So,
Oh my gosh, where's that time gone? Viv,
I don't know.
wow.
She's grown up she's growing so quickly. She's in secondary school now. You know, she's a teenager. So yeah.
Can't believe it.
She's
Wow,
13,
Viv.
going on 14. Yeah, I know time has flown, you know.
Wow.
I remember when I used to bring her to the exercise classes, to the sporting club, and she would sit down and watch. And
she's not going to do that now. She'll be like, what are you bringing me here for?
And the little dance classes when she was little that Tatiana used to do in the holidays. That's when I first realized she was very shy. And then I joined her to performing arts to do, and now she's more confident.
Yeah, 100% works, I think, in my book anyway. Thank you so much, Viv. Okay, Dina, last but not least.
Hi, my name is Dina. I'm a mother of 5. My oldest daughter now is 31, and I've also got 5 grandchildren. So I'm very busy all the time.
Dina, I need you to give us the recipe to the elixir that you're taking, because I'm not sure what's going on.
The what?
The elixir to youth. Yeah.
Oh gosh, please. Honestly, I don't feel young. Trust me, they wear me out. But I'm always busy. It's always a lively house.
Yeah. Well,
always someone
you're
around,
well.
so it's good.
Yeah. Never a dull moment. Like when I like Donna's house. Yeah, Donna. Never a dull moment. There's always someone to talk to. I like that. You're not feeling like you're alone. Goodness. Okay. All right. So thank you everybody for joining me today. Really nice to have you with me. All right, so as you know, Mummish is conversations between mums. And today, what I'd like to talk about is how it was for you during lockdown with your children. Now, your children could be big. It doesn't matter if they're older. It still means that if they are in the house with you, that, you know, the dynamics are there, the kind of pressures, the emotions flying around. I just kind of want to delve a little bit more into what it was like for you in lockdown. Now, I say it in a past tense, like, you know, it's over, like, you know, it's past. I think it's so last year, but no, it's still upon us in certain countries, should I say. We still have restrictions. But what I'd like to find out is how you going with that. I'd like to even know and take it as far as how has it been for you mentally? Because we're here for this to be a space for adults. So I'm not just here to kind of go, oh, what tips did you have, you know, to get your kid to do homeschooling? No, what I really want to delve into is how it was for you. What were the pressures? What were maybe the revelations? Sometimes some people have found throughout this, they have found things about themselves that they didn't know, good and bad. Just really want to know what, you know, let's just spill the tea, as the young people call it. All right. So the question is out there. What was it like for you during lockdown with your little ones? Yeah. Who would like to take the floor first? Just come through, Karima. Karima, then Kemi, put your hand up, please. Karima is on first, then Bridge. Okay. Karima.
Okay, hello. But what I would like to share for that experience of lockdown, then first it was like frightening. We didn't know what it was, so I was already working with old people, so I knew that at some point I will lose my job.
Oh man.
So then I had to quickly get prepared to quickly look for another job, but also keep calm, because you know, like the stress of parents, children get affected by that. and I'm a like single parent, so I didn't want my daughter to feel like I was in stress. So I wanted to show her that don't worry, mommy got this in control. I'm gonna find a new job, and we're gonna still be able to do to afford holidays, of being able to go see family and things like that, keep our livelihood as much as we can.
Yeah.
So after the lockdown came, and I kind of quickly get used to it. Uh, then it became, I quickly took advantage of the time we had for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like I did a lot of gardening, a lot of creative activity. I painted the wall like I painted a big sunshine in my garden wall, like improvising,
Lovely.
and making the garden a good place. And I went to France and see my family, regardless of what the television was saying. Don't travel, don't this. I was like, forget this. I need to see my family. We need to go and have some togetherness because I don't have any family in England. So yeah,
100%.
that's how we cope really. Like we've been a little bit creative and a little bit rebel, and did a lot of research to understand what it was exactly, and how much of a threat was it really.
Yes.
So then the more I research about it, and the less I was stressed, and then we move forward. Now we're just moving forward.
Sounds
So
really
that's it.
positive. Sounds really positive, Karima. Thank you so much. I feel what you're saying. You have to kind of make it the best that you can and utilize the time. That sounds like what you've done. You know, painting the wall in the garden sounds awesome.
Oh,
Sounds
but
like
I forgot to mention, I still had a big struggle with the homeschooling. Like,
yeah.
not everybody is a teacher, and
No.
I really struggle with math and like teaching math, and like being a teacher. Like it was like doing a crash course of how to be a teacher in a week.
Yes.
So my daughter is not behind with her homework and all that. So this was
Yeah.
stressful. But yeah, that's it. That's all I had to share for my.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. And I'm sure there's going to be more people that can pick up on some of the things that you have done and relate to it. So the next one we're going to go to is going to be Eve. Eve, please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Hi, thanks Karima for sharing your story. We've all got stories. I suppose this was sprung upon us at a moment's notice, so we just had to really find ways to adapt. At first, for me, it was like a party. Yeah, I was playing music all the time. I was taking my children to walk in the parks. A lot of Netflix, a lot of drinking of alcohol. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
I see some people's heads are bobbing like, yes.
Yeah, it was a real party. I felt abandoned as well because I don't generally, when I'm always like that, I don't generally think like other people. So while everyone was caught up in the fear of it all, I was like in party mode, like, because I didn't have any fear of what was going on.
Right.
Then more of a reality started to sink in, and I needed to do some internal work with myself. So I did. I just went internal. I started intermittent fasting. I started more prayer and meditation, more yoga. I started to ritualize like my mornings, and realize that it wasn't just me that was on this shutdown. The world is on a shutdown, and I'm a part of the world. So I needed to do my work, my part, because it's not something that's just happening out there. This is like a collective consciousness. We're all responsible for what's happening out there. So I did my part, and I'm still doing my part, which is to work on myself. So that was really good. A lot of me time, like Karima was saying, a lot of creativity. I was still painting, still making jewelry, as you can see I'm doing now. that's what it was like for me. But I had to, outside was a lot of darkness and a lot of fear. And I had to go within the darkness and the fear within myself to be able to understand what's going on outside and just like let a lot of things go, like just let it go, because my whole value system had changed. All of a sudden we're valuing, I don't know, not me, but, you know, shoes or your hair or this, and those things were not of relevance when the first lockdown happened. It was just shut down. So you had to revalue, well, what is really important, and revalue what am I here for? My life purpose, you know. And to cocoon and look after my children. Like, I didn't want to expose them to what us as like adults have been doing out there. So that's why most of the time, and it still is now, it was just a party. So yeah, so because, you know, especially with my older son, he was 10 at the time, he's 11 now. He was at school and they were playing News Round constantly, and I'm like, but he's a child, he doesn't need to be like exposed to that. Then I have to go and deal with that now, the questioning, being scared and all this kind of stuff. So I really blocked out a lot of that. I just you know, just didn't have the news on or nothing. And my children and I have survived, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I had to protect their emotional side from not, you know, being depressed and all that kind of stuff, and as well protect myself as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's my part.
Thanks so much. Thank you very much, Eve. All right, so Bridge, you're next.
Hi guys. Yeah, so I found it quite challenging but enjoyable at the same time. I'm someone who needs routine, so a lot of the time I had like timetables pretty much for everything. They knew when they were playing, they knew when they were studying, they knew when, no, literally it was for every single thing, even going to toilet. This is the time you've got to go to break. That's when you go toilet.
Oh my God.
I'm also working, I was working full time as well. And I started a business with my sister. So trying to just do everything at the same time, it would only work with a timetable. Set up a tuck shop so they had money that they could spend each day. Buying things and whatnot. It was fun. They enjoyed it as well. Managed to get a trampoline in the garden, so that was another thing, increasing physical activity. So they could always go out there at break times, go out, and at the end of the school day, again, they could go outside and play. And so it worked really well. I think for me, I do enjoy physical activity as well. So it was just keeping that up as well. So not being able to go to the gym, just started home working instead. Joined a couple of online classes and have just kept that up until now, and I just love it. So I don't think I will be returning back to the gym. Also took up baking, so now I'm looking at sort of putting my foot into like little baking business as well at the same time and everything. So that was good. Yeah. We did eventually, me and my sisters, launch our business. So we launched a new rum drink, which launched at the beginning of September. So that's doing really, really well amidst everything. But I think for the kids especially, they got to know me more, I'd say. And just like, you know, what makes me tick, what doesn't make me tick. And then I got to know them as well, just because usually when they go to school, the bulk of the day is elsewhere. They come home, they eat, they go to bed, and that's it. So I'm really having that, like those one-on-one conversations, but also trying to split my time with all four of them as, okay, this is this person's time now, this is that person's time and everything. That was the biggest challenge, I'd say. In terms of work are brilliant. I have I haven't got a negative word to say about work. They're just fantastic, really able to let you adapt to, you know, your lifestyle. This is an unusual situation that everyone was in. So having the same expectations as if you were in the office, they just didn't do that. So that took away a bit of the pressure as well. So that was really, really helpful. The first lockdown, I'd say, was definitely the hardest. As we've gone on and an introduction of like online schooling, it really did ease things down. And the kids, I think kids are always resilient. And that's what we don't realise. They do really can just get on with it. We had some tears at times, but for the most part, they enjoyed it. They enjoyed being out of school, but did miss their friends. That was the biggest downfall, missing their friends. So trying to, all the house party apps that came out, trying to get parents' numbers so they could all have a chat and sort of interact that way. That was really helpful. But I wouldn't say I want to do it again, but, I think there are worse things that could happen. So yeah, I'm thankful that we're where we are.
Thank you so much, Bridge. Wow. Who who in the world is that organized? I mean, look, I've got one child, and to get her to do, the things that I wanted her to do. And as you all know, I teach fitness. To get her to do even that, she put on so much weight when it was in lockdown. And okay, I shouldn't be kind of worried about her. She's a growing child, but sedentary life is not necessarily good for them. So she just wouldn't get up. She wouldn't do anything with me. Oh, I was just like, and I can't make her do anything. You know, there's not that I always say to people, I don't run my house like a dictatorship, it's a democracy. Now, that means that we talk. I do want boundaries though, and I do want some routine, but she wouldn't fall in line. She just wouldn't. And I frequently do not know what to do with Tori. And some of you guys might be quite shocked when you hear that, because you spend time with her, and you know that she seems quite an easygoing individual, but not to me. I mean, this is another subject that we could cover in one of our other mummish sessions, as to how the relationship with parents and their children, and why sometimes maybe they don't listen to one parent, they listen to the other one, and so on and so forth. And she was giving me some of the reasons why she doesn't do the things that I ask at times. So that will be another episode, another podcast. So let's go on to Donna. Donna, let's hear how you were with all 7 of your children.
It wasn't so bad, because the older ones kind of fended for themselves, so I didn't need to really do much with them. It was more the younger 2 that I concentrated on.
Yeah.
And a bit like Bridget, I had my timetable of what they were doing.
Oh, okay.
On the first lockdown, this is your lessons, this is what's going on. And with the older 2, the 2 of the boys that was in secondary school, when they had PE, I would say, okay, you're doing PE with the younger ones now. So this is your PE lessons, go on the trampoline, so that's how we all work together, kind of thing. So it wasn't too bad. And then I think going through the lockdowns, then I kind of wasn't as strict as the first one, because we had the timetable, but it wasn't as like, this is what you're doing, strict as it was before. I think for it all, I think my hardest part was when the kids had to go to school, but everything else was locked down.
Yeah.
So it was like, I was just like, why are you letting me send my kids to school and everything, I can't do nothing myself? And because I'm basically supposed to be high risk as well, so I was like, I can't send you to school and I'm staying at home. So I think they did like the first week, and then I kind of took them out, and even the teacher was like, oh, well, you can't do that because of attendance. And I was like, well, for my mental health, I need to do this, even if it's for a week or 2 weeks, let me do it, and then we'll see what happens. Within the first week of me having them at home, the second week, the school was closed because the staff ended up having, exactly. So it was like, oh, well, then it doesn't matter what I decided to do, because I've just done something that I felt comfortable in doing. And I'm glad that I actually stuck with that, to be able to say that I took them out and I felt good in myself, instead of me still sending them. And then probably if they did get sent home because of the staff having the COVID, and then the whole school getting locked down, I think I probably would have broke down. So it was, I think it was easier for me to do it that way, which was good. But yeah, no, the kids love it. Even sometimes the primary school kids, my 10-year-old sometimes says to me, oh, well, can't we stay home today and then we don't go to school and you just give us work? And I'm like, no, you have to go to school now. I can't keep you anymore. But it's because when you're at home as well, you've got to try and do fun things with them.
Yeah.
So it's not just always too hard and stuff like that. So we do fun things, we enjoyed each other's company, and it was nice getting to know what they were good at and what they weren't, because even though you have parents evening and the teachers will say, oh yeah, they're good at this, but for me to actually see, oh yeah, no, okay, I understand you're not that good at English, so we're going to work a little bit more on that, or we're going to work. So it was nice to do that kind of thing. So yeah, I didn't find it too bad. And as I said to a lot of people, if anything, if I get stuck, all I need to do is do times tables and reading and a bit of writing, and then we're fine. Even if we didn't do anything else.
Yeah, you just need to know how to, for me, but I said to them that I came out of school, the times tables have helped me no end in my life, but me to able to do sums in my head, the times tables, me knowing it, I was in Jamaica, they drummed it into you in Jamaica when you're growing up, and I know my times tables, and then I can read quite well. So these two things, if I just go to school and learn those two things, I think I'll be quite fine. That's not for everybody to go out and not do the rest of the stuff, but literally that has carried me through life. Do you know, thanks so much. Thank you so much, Donna.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, awesome. I'm going to come back to a point that you made just a moment ago, but let me go on to Anthea for now. Anthea, I see your hand up. Can you put your hands down, guys, if also you are not speaking at this point or don't want to come back in? Thank you so much. Anthea.
Hey, thanks, guys. It was really good to hear your experiences, because over here in Australia, it's quite different, and I've actually been really feeling emotional listening to you, because the first lockdown that we had, because I share custody with my ex-husband, with my children, and they're across the border, I actually didn't see my children for the first 4 months of lockdown. So that was really intense experience to not be with them every day and do the usual routine. So I'm just recognizing that the experience that it must have been for you guys. And at the time it was like, okay, like my work didn't change because I have my own business and I'm a therapist, so I got busier than I'd ever been, like ever.
Yeah,
so,
I can imagine.
So I was grateful that we were really lucky that in that respect nothing really changed, but not having the children for those first 4 months, and we couldn't cross borders because first of all you had to quarantine on both sides of the border for 2 weeks and pay $4,000 for the privilege. So it was just ridiculous, and we were thinking, I have a girlfriend that his children were also on the other side, on the border, on the other side of the border. So I'm in Queensland, my children were in New South Wales, and we were wondering how we could maybe smuggle them across borders, and it was really surreal. You know, you watch the movies and it just seemed I just caught myself like having this conversation and recognizing like this is where we are in humanity right now. This is real for people, and it was really scary. And then they brought us down from tier 4 to tier 3, and so the border restrictions still applied, but you could then get a permit to travel across the border. And so there was you know, these massive queues to get across the border, and it just really reminded me of just, you know, the fascist regimes that we've
that's what I was about to say.
And it was, and so you had to have this big sticker on your car to show that you had I don't know, signed up for something or other. And they eased it a bit more, and so up and even now what we have to do, so life hasn't really changed much here for me at least. I can't speak for anyone else around in Australia, but we live in a bit of a bubble here. And so what we do have to do though, so like in terms of the shops were still open, you could still go to clubs closed down and things, but the bottle shop has not closed once in the last 18 months. If you needed a beer, you could go get a beer anywhere, you know, so that's not closed. Like footy games were still on, that's never, the massive tournaments, all of that. You could still go get your hair done, you could still go get your nails done. So all of that's, but what we had to do everywhere was you had to sign up to a tracker device. And if you didn't sign up to a tracker device, then you couldn't get into a restaurant, or you couldn't go to the pub, or they won't let you into Woolies, things like that. So you had to sign up. I'm laughing because I'm saying this out loud and realizing
it sounds insane.
And we never did. So that's the only reason why we didn't go anywhere, was because I refused to sign up to anywhere. So what my fiance would, we ended up getting those Nokias. You remember the Nokia? Yeah, because So this is what happens when the system is so inherently inhumane. You end up being criminal, you know, or it ends up criminalizing you, because so we ended up getting these burner phones.
Yeah, I can see what Bridget has wrote, burner phones.
So we ended up
just
getting
throw them away.
So then so then you'd have to like manually write your name into some, I don't know, some register. You'd have to write it in. So Eddie and I would have our aliases that we would write everywhere we go. But, you know, in amongst all of that, just the thing that was really present for me in that time without my children was like, what if something happens and I can't get to them? What if something happens and there's all these hurdles and barriers and I can't get to them? And that just made me really realize, just listening to you guys, having the kids at home with you, and you know, that deep connection, especially as mums and with your children, like, you know, there's nothing that can stop you from being with your kids. And or that's at least what I felt my whole life until I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm
not able to be with them. Yeah.
For 4 months. So I just wanted to share that because it was really nice to hear your experiences and just recognize how deeply distressing it was not being with my children for 4 months. If I'd thought about it consciously, I would have been like, still see them on Zoom every day, it's all good. But I actually really, my heart yearned for them every day.
Yeah, I hear that. And and I it's very difficult because, you know, it's half a dozen of one and six of the other. You want a little break from them, and then you don't want 4 months break. And then we're in lockdown and they're just talking and going, mum, 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 mum. And so, you know, you think I don't miss that mum, mum, mum. But then when it's not happening, you're going to be like, I want to hear that mum, mum, mum. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of, in this situation, has put people in a mind state of really being so thankful for what they have, not having that complacency anymore, even if we had any, you know, not trying to treasure some of the things that happened in that time to show us what, you know, what we need to do or what we could have done differently or whatever. You know, it's been a time that some people have found they needed it to be here because they needed to find themselves or they needed to connect with their families. Do you know what I mean? And
absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like there's quite a lot to discuss, but we still have to kind of be mindful of just the time in the show at the moment. So I'm just going to quickly move on to Viv. Thank you, Anthea. And I want to come back to a few things. Hold on a minute. Was it Viv and then Rahima? Am I right in saying that? Yes, Viv, Rahima, Dina? Oh, it don't matter. Viv, just start. You go first, Viv. Don't forget, unmute yourself. Lovely.
Hello, yes, I would say when lockdown first started, I was really tired. I was shattered because I work in central London, and just the commute going to work, I started feeling really tired. And I remember like when my workplace closed down the building and they called and said, oh, you don't have to come in, but you have a meeting with some external clients that were coming, that I had to be there for that particular day. So I went in, me and my manager. Then after that meeting, I started working from home properly. I was happy. I mean, I knew, obviously, I could see the news constantly, but I was kind of really relieved and happy. My daughter also, like, she goes to school a bit far. She goes to Dartford, which is a bit far from Thamesmead. So the trains, the journey, I was like, okay, this is a good time. Let us just rest a bit. Obviously, we're watching the news and everything. And also my husband, he works as well in central London, and I didn't really get to see him that much. So for us, it was a good time to kind of connect as a family. And so, yeah. And then obviously in the beginning, Nia, my daughter, she's quite studious. She likes to read and all that. So she was excited about doing her work, you know. I didn't really have to do much, like checking on her. So she would just be like, Mommy, I'm doing this. Mommy, I'm doing that. And because she's older, she's not in primary school, she's in secondary school. And, you know, she just loves school. I don't know, you know, I haven't had to do much with her. So she just used to do her work. But then obviously with time, she got bored and tired because, you know, this lockdown's been over a year now. But one thing I would say as well is, like, obviously I was working, and she would use the opportunities when I'm working to come and say, Mommy, can I have a biscuit? And because she knows I'm on the phone with work, I can't say no, I'm monitor stuff. She would take a biscuit, she would eat this. She started having full breakfasts, you know, like hash browns, sausages, you know, proper eggs. We all were eating. Then I started thinking, I was watching, I was like, oh my God, she's getting big. I was conscious, she could see me trying to do mine. Then I was like, okay, we need to do some exercise. We need to do Joe Wicks, you know, her school said Joe Wicks. And then she was like, okay, she put away. Then I said, oh my goodness. So we started going for walks as a family. Even me, myself, I was conscious that, oh gosh, because I used to go to the classes that with Tatiana, you know, the fitness club, sporting club. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to put away. I was just worried because there was things at home. My husband was going to the shops, buying loads of bad foods, you know, like I stopped, but I don't buy fizzy drinks, but because I don't live by myself, I can't control what comes into the house. And when it's there, I'm tempted, isn't it? So, and then my daughter's eating the biscuits, he's buying that 12-pack of crisps, you know, ready salted, this, that. There's food in our house, proper food, and I'm cooking. I have more time. So I thought, okay, do you know what? I need to keep up my exercise, try to avoid these things, try to implement good eating habits for the family, and also keep an eye on Nia and her weight, you know. And, you know, so that was, my husband would eat all of that, and he would work out. He would do Shanti, Insanity. So he was working out, so he wasn't putting on weight. So I was thinking, Vivian, do not watch this man. Do not watch this man, Viv. Remember, you need to work out yourself. So I would just skip. Nia will film me. I'll post it on my Insta. Tatiana will be like, encouraging me. I would juice.
You're juicing.
I started trying to do things. So I've kind of tried to keep it up, you know, because I knew that I wasn't as active, where I was rushing to work, doing all those things. And there were good points, but there was also, I had to be mindful. I said, there's things that I was slipping on, like, you know, like I said, I was really tired. So I didn't really have time to reflect on me, be it like, even like to pray, read the Bible, to read books, you know. So now with the lockdown, I was able to implement those things. Yes, I'm a Christian, but I wasn't really kind of like having enough time to maybe just pray because I'm rushing, you know. I felt like I was rushing. And then, you know, I'm also happy that, you know, like all the parties kind of stopped, you know. I know people are going to listen to this, but yes, you know, I didn't have to go, you know, like I'm Nigerian originally. So there's always like a birthday, a celebration, a christening, a party. I have to take the material, I have to dress up, and I'm out. And, you know, you family occasions, you have to go, friends, you can't just be like, no, you know, you feel you have to go. But with the lockdown, there was no parties. No one is calling me. No cousins are saying, Viv, we're going here. Are you going? And, you know, I'm not having to spend hours doing my makeup, no, you know, I'm just chilling. I'm just, what's it called? At home, doing my work. After work, we could go for walks. I could go for walks in my lunchtime. We could go for walks. And then also, even though I lived here, I never was one that would go for walks. Like, I got to know the area where I live a bit more. I just used to just go to work, come back, maybe shopping on Saturdays, tidying up the house, cooking, cleaning. But now I had an opportunity to explore the area. I stopped driving my car that much. I was just going for walks. I even bumped into Tatiana one time at night. I'm walking. These are areas I never used to go on. And then I started dragging my daughter out for walks. I'll say to her, Nia, we have to go for a walk. My husband as well. Sometimes we'll all go for a family walk. things that we never did, you know.
Yes.
So it's been a good time to bond as well. This is the longest since I've been married. We've been at home together as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes 3 of us, and then when Nia went back to school, 2 of us. But it's been, on the whole, it's been a good time. The only thing that I would say that I was sad about is just, you know, friends losing family members. So
100%.
I had to be mindful for that. But I have enjoyed working from home for a whole year, and just, you know, like obviously with Nia as well, when she was doing her homeschooling, there was a time when she got tired of it. So I had to be like, oh, be on her. You need to do your work, you know.
Yeah.
But then in the beginning, like I said, the first few months, she was good. And then she slipped a bit. Then they went back to school for a bit. Then when they came back, she carried on as well. But yeah, so for me, I'm going to try and keep, you know, that exercising, that walking around, you know, like fresh air, vitamin D, you know, stuff that I never did before, you know, the smoothies that I wake up and make. I knew about it. Tatiana used to encourage us in the class, do this, do that. But I was so busy and so tired. But now I'm beginning to do a bit more self-care, looking after myself, be it spiritually, emotionally, and physically, not just, and I'm going to try and do that going forward, and not just, I don't want it to be a fad. I want it to be a way of life, a lifestyle. And, you know, so for me, that's me.
Thank you.
And obviously I got to bond with my daughter a bit more, you know, spend time with her. She used to talk on the walks. She would tell me about her school, her friends, you know, little girls. And I'll be like, yeah, you know, this is how girls are. You know, I'll just you could advise her. She could tell me stuff, and we bonded more and more, you know, and I get to know what little teenage girls are like, and you know what's going on in her life, and you know, and also encourage her, like, you know, with like even with the praying thing, and we could talk about what do you think, you know, doing stuff online, you know, and stuff. So it's been good in those different areas for me.
Yeah, lovely, Viv. Thank you so much. Really love to hear the positivity coming out of it, especially spending time with loved ones, you know, in your home, you know, with people that are close to you. And I think that's something that we definitely should try to keep up, and the walks, getting to know your area. And you know, we live in places, people will go to us, oh, what's that road again? And you go, I've probably seen that road 6 million times, but I don't know where it is, you know. And it's like just taking in, what did I say? Taking time to smell the roses.
Yeah. And not driving everywhere.
No.
Walk to the supermarket, you know?
Yeah.
Keep up your steps. You know, I just used to drive places. Now I could walk from where I am in Thamesmead North to Abbeywood. I could walk further. I've walked to Woolwich from, you know, from Thamesmead to Woolwich. Like there's the cycle thing, the cycle path. So I could walk there. I've walked with my daughter. Sometimes she's tired, you know, but then I've done it myself. I've done it with my husband and Nia. But yeah, it's been really good. I never knew I could do that before.
No, because in your mind, you're thinking, look how far that is. I'll just get in the car and I'll just go around and get some bread. Do you know what I mean? And now you're like, let me walk and go and get the bread. And that's what I mean. It's time. It's given us time to, in a positive way, and a safe way to what's happening in the world, to kind of be in our own little zone and get to know deeper about ourselves, our homes, fulfill some maybe outstanding things that we'd wanted to do with our lives, that we go, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Like even just walking that far from maybe Thamesmead to Woolwich, that is like when you're training or getting yourself up to do the 5K or something. You're now doing it, but when you think of doing it, you're like, oh, I couldn't do that, you know. But no, all of a sudden you're just like, let me just walk and see how far I can go. And that's just perfect. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Viv.
Thanks for encouraging me as well,
Tatiana. No, you and if you see the beautiful pictures, this lady has really come far.
I'm trying.
No, well done, Viv. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Rahima, you're next. You were saying there was a small delay. But let's see
Can you hear me,
how
guys? I
well.
know
Yeah,
I'm really, really delayed.
it's okay. Just keep talking.
Can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right. So let me see. When lockdown started, my daughter wasn't actually here.
It's a bit of a delay. Oh, Rahima?
So
Rahima.
found out that
Yeah,
my
Rahima.
daughter was in Jamaica with me at
Sorry,
the time.
Rahima. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, maybe with the camera off. Let's try you with the camera off to see whether it works better.
I'll try. It doesn't make much difference.
Oh no, that's awful. Okay, let's try
Can you hear me
Rahima.
okay now?
Yeah, let's try.
Okay. So I was just saying that in the beginning of lockdown, my daughter wasn't actually here, so she was in Jamaica with my husband. We just not long, a couple of weeks before, found out that he could have joined me in the UK.
It's a bit. It's intermittent with your talking, Rahima. It's going high and low.
All right. I'll tell you what. Do you want somebody else to go and then
No,
I'll
that
log in on
sounds
my
fine
phone
now.
and it
Stay
will work
there.
better.
Okay, yeah, go to your phone and we'll come back to you. Okay, thanks, Rahima. Dina, would you like to hop on?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So lockdown. I think very similar to Vivian. I was actually exhausted at the start. So when lockdown come, it was like, this is a blessing. No traveling to work from home. But work got very busy, very, very busy. And I had 2 children at home. So my son's 14 and my daughter was 4 at the time. So she was in nursery school. So the main focus was on making sure my son's up, keeping up and doing his schoolwork. And that was difficult because the boy didn't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
He wanted to go to bed late. He was eating out of the house. I'm shopping every minute, buying food. So I said, okay, let's do a reduced timetable. You log on at 10 and you can come off at 2 o'clock and have a little break, few breaks in between. So we done that and gradually it got better.
Yeah.
I had to make him sit in the same room as me. If I left him to take the computer to his bedroom and I'd go up there, he weren't doing nothing. So
wow.
I had to make him stay in the same room as me to keep an eye on him. And then I had a 4-year-old that was used to being at nursery all day. And she was doing all sorts of madness. She was painting on the walls and drawing on furniture and like literally I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going crazy up in here.
Yeah.
But that was the first couple of weeks. And then as time went on, I think we all adjusted. We all appreciated having more time together.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got used to it. And then the second lockdown come, my son went back. So they went back to school for a bit. Then the second lockdown come, but it was better having the online learning so that my son could actually log in and do his lessons online. So that helped. But it was the beginning was tough. Lockdown 1 was tough because our lives had just changed overnight. The news was on, people were getting scared, people around us were getting sick. There was friends of friends that had passed from COVID. So it was, there was just a lot going on. Work got very busy. The work that I do, I work with families. So being in lockdown, a lot of people were more affected by DV. So a lot of the cases I were getting were DV cases.
Yeah.
So that got quite heavy, got very busy. But gradually we've kind of adjusted, and it hasn't all been bad. There's been many blessings. I'm trying to set up my own little business on the side. My daughter's been doing her cooking, which really took off throughout lockdown. she got very busy. So yeah, there's been pros and cons.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people can relate to that because as I said to you, the homeschooling was difficult for me with Tori because she's not even a teenager, but she was tired, going to bed late, wouldn't go to bed when I told her to do that, wouldn't get up when I asked her to either. And at first, remember well, I don't know if you're the school for everyone, but our school wasn't having homework online. So you were picking up packs. Yeah. And so then you had to sit with your child to do the work out of your day, out of the other things that you got to do. And even though I've got one child, I found it quite difficult because I'm always doing something, especially something online. And I felt like I wasn't able to give her the time or, enforce her, kind of be behind her to get onto stuff. And I wrote a rota for the wall. She was doing Joe Wicks in the beginning, and that was all good. But then she got used to it, changed her mind, wouldn't do this, wouldn't do that. And I just completely didn't know what to do because I couldn't take charge of her. And her will is quite strong, just the same as mine. And so it was like, well, she's not a teenager yet, but there's still a battle of wills here. And, already. So I found it quite difficult at first. Then when it was the second one, she wanted to, she was online, with the schoolwork. So that put her into a more I guess, routine. Yeah. And it wasn't too early that they started. They started at like 12 o'clock midday till about 3. So she had the morning to do whatever she needed to do to take a year and a day to get her hair washed and done. I don't know what she does. And then, coming to present herself, she would always be ready, even, saying to me, can you not be in shock? Can you be ready to leave the room when I'm going to be on? And I was just thinking, dude, it's not that serious. They're going to see people just walking around behind as long as you're, I kid you not, they sent letters as well, like emails out to people stating that please could you make sure that whoever's walking around in the black background is dressed appropriately. Now Bridget's laughing because her children go to the same school as mine. Now can you tell me how you've got your child on the Zoom and you're walking around half dressed? I literally don't understand, but that brought me to that those are the things that made the time pass. A lot of these memes of homeschooling, because literally it made me laugh just a minute ago when Viv was saying she's on her work online and her daughter's going, can I have a biscuit, can I this? And have you seen those ones where you're doing something, and you're like, you're yes, you're looking at the child and you're like taking your shoe off and throwing it and trying to push them away from you and stuff like that. It was just like, I've literally seen so many memes, even one that had me in stitches, ladies, right? That was a lady, she just put on her wig to come on Zoom. And then and then the person said, okay, that's the end of the meeting. And she took the wig off and shut them.
Oh my God.
And went to sleep. It was like a sequence, and just wake up, put the wig on, open it, you're still on your bed, and shut it back, take it off, and go back to bed. Judy laughed, someone said, I literally was in stitches because I feel like that's what we do, because so many people don't come on camera. They're like, well, I haven't done my hair, and whatnot. Or you might have your pajamas on the bottom and you just put a shirt on and it's like super funny. But I feel like it's, for me, I have a touch of everything that you guys have. I definitely I haven't started new businesses, but I have worked on myself and decided what I want to do going forward in so many ways, because it gave me that opportunity. And although a lot of us work for ourselves or work from home and things like that, sometimes you're still not seeing the wood for the trees. Sometimes you're grinding, you're working hard, and you're wondering, when am I going to get a chance to breathe and sleep and whatnot? And everybody that knows me knows that I'm like an Energizer bunny as well. I know some of you that are in this meeting, and I know you're like that as well. But literally, I can't stop because I love it, and I just am intrigued to know what's next. But I felt that I could breathe a little bit more in the lockdown. I felt like I was happy to spend time with myself. And I said to people a lot of the times in my life, I've always said, oh, I don't have a lot of friends around me. This was in my 20s. And then now I'm in my 40s. I'm like, dude, I love being by myself. You know, I don't know what it is. I like to think for myself. I like to not have someone ask me 10 questions. So this was quite nice to have that solitude and that time to reflect on who I am as a person. And then you do find that there are things about yourself that I guess you didn't actually know, you know, and definitely talents.
Yeah.
I think people didn't realize that they had an aptitude in so many different things, you know. I mean, Bridge starting the business with the rum and even baking. You know, we have no time to do it. We just don't have time. And then you get that and you're like, look, it's now or never. Let me actually do this now. And it's not taken away from what you're doing in your everyday life. You're still moving forward. You're still making those moves. Now, I'm conscious of time, so I'm just going to go before we round off to the last person, and that's Rahima, so she can state what has happened to her. We have 5 minutes left. Rahima, I'm going to let you take it away, okay?
Hi, guys. I won't be long, sorry. Sorry about earlier. So I was saying that in the beginning of lockdown, my daughter wasn't actually here because she was spending time away with her dad in Jamaica. And we had only just found out that he had had the go-ahead to come to the UK. So I booked tickets and everything, and they cancelled the tickets. So I didn't actually get to see them at first at the time that it was planned. But it worked out well in the end, because though they'd cancelled those and there weren't any flights coming from Jamaica to the UK, I managed to get them here through America. Now, because I work for the NHS, I have had no time off. I have been working right through, if not even more. So, you know, once COVID came about, everything in my department at the time, I was in day surgery unit, had kind of shut down, but we were redeployed to critical care because critical care was so busy. Now, doing those meant I also had to do longer shifts, which meant I didn't spend as much time with my daughter when she did arrive here. And, you know, not much changed in regards to, you know, me being at work all the time. So I felt like I was missing out on time with her, especially as she'd just come back. She was growing, you know, her personality was growing, and she was just so much fun to be around. But I got up early in the morning. Also, that was due to the commute from Thamesmead to Kings in West Central London, that I had to do is an hour and a half journey on the train to an hour and a half back. So I was getting up a lot earlier to then go and do a 12.5-hour shift and then come back home, which meant that I was absolutely, you know, done by the evening, or she was in bed. So I think what I learned over the lockdown was that I wasn't spending as much time as I should have been or could have been with her. The lockdown has definitely taught me that, you know, I have to make effort to make time for, you know, you have to make effort to make time with your children, especially when there's so much going on. And because my husband had just come to the country as well, there wasn't much that he could have done. The good thing was that he was at home for a short period, which meant that he could have spent a bit more time with her. And at first she wasn't going to nursery because he was, you know, he was looking after her. We were with mum at the time as well. So she did have a bit more interaction in that sense, you know. Also because she's an only child, that meant she didn't have any interaction with any other children. She wasn't going to nursery at the time. She didn't start until October. But thankfully, the nursery that she did end up going to after we moved, because we also moved during the lockdown, was one that remained open for key workers, which meant that she could, you know, she had the chance to interact with other children. And that kind of took a bit of the pressure off of me in a way, because I felt like, you know, she's still able to see people, because I think she was kind of getting to the point where she didn't want to be at home anymore. She enjoyed it for a while, and then, you know, she wanted to see people, she wanted to interact. And then when we moved, it was harder because we moved out of England, and then that meant that we couldn't come back to see family. And she kept asking for everyone in London, and I kept saying to her, it's lockdown, and she didn't really understand what it meant at first, but I had to explain, it means we can't go. So now when you call her on the phone, you say, when are you going to come and see me? She go, I can't, it's lockdown. Or the planes are closed. She goes, Mummy, the planes are closed. Jamaica is closed. Jamaica is closed. So we can't go to Jamaica. And I do feel for her though, because especially her family in Jamaica, this is the longest I have been to Jamaica, and she hasn't been taking it very well. recently. She wants to see her grandparents there. You know, she's grown up there for, I guess, most of her life.
Yeah.
So she's missing everyone there as well. So I think, you know, my husband and I got to spend more time together because we've been long distance as well. That's kind of helped. I mean, we've been in each other's faces a lot, and going from long distance to being in each other's faces is not fun. It's strange. It's like we never really got the time to live together before all of this. So it's like we're always in each other's faces. So work has also helped to keep me sane in that department. But it's been nice. It's been really good. And as I said, it's made me really think, you know, when I am off, how do I make time for her?
Yeah.
What can we do? I'm not one to really go out, so I didn't miss that too much. But just little things that we take for granted, like wanting to go and sit down and have a meal. That's what I enjoyed doing. And I realized that I can't go and do that, even with her. You know, she'll want to go out and she'll say, Mummy, when we drove past her dad's workplace the other day, she said, Mummy, look, it's a restaurant. We can go inside and sit down and we can look at the TV and we can draw on the paper. And I said, I don't think the restaurants are open yet, darling. And she said, yes, it is. We can go inside and we can sit down and we can have some food. And I think, oh my gosh, now she's missing the restaurants.
Yeah.
But that's what I miss more than anything, you know, being able to actually interact with people, things that I never used to really want to do, I'm wanting to do now. And especially now that I've moved out and I'm living on my own, you know, I want to go out places, and there's festivals that I never really was interested in before, but now I feel like I'm kind of growing into myself.
Yeah.
You know, I want to do things and I'm like, oh my gosh, why do I want to do all of this now? You know, and
you turned into a wild child.
I know, literally. I never used to want to go anywhere, obviously, because my husband was in Jamaica. I wouldn't go anywhere else. And now he's here and I wish to travel to other places. We can't really do that. But especially now where we live, it's a lot more mountain climbing and that kind of activity around, you know, beaches.
Oh yeah, I didn't remember. Tell everybody where you are.
We're in Wales now.
Yes, I forgot to say.
There's farms everywhere. There's farmland everywhere. There's greenery everywhere. There's rivers, and it's just so lush and green. It's so
you need
nice.
to start walking like Viv.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a mountain. We've literally moved again about a month ago to a bigger place, and there's literally a mountain. I'm sitting here looking through the window. You can see the mountain behind the houses. And yeah, we're just going to start doing walks and stuff like that. But, you know, lockdown has taught me, you know, how to really make time for the important things.
Yeah.
And especially as I didn't have time with her before, she's getting to know me. You know, obviously she was here with me before, but she was a lot younger. You know, and just to kind of, as I said, really, I'm trying to do the routine thing to make sure that, you know, there's a bit more structure, but because I'm never here and I'm always tired, I'm trying to get on top of that as well, just to make sure that she's not missing out. But yeah, that's how I've been managing it so far. Working, coming home, she's still going to nursery, which is a blessing. And now that I'm studying as well and I've gone part-time, I'm spending a bit more time with her on my days off. And, you know, sometimes when she says, oh, Mommy, I don't want to go to school, I'll say, I'll pick you up soon. So I'll probably send her for less time than she normally does. And then I'll go and pick her up early just to make sure that we've got, you know, a few extra minutes. Or I'll take her to the supermarket. It's just us. You know, we'll find things to do that we probably wouldn't have found time to do before, just to make sure that I'm bonding with her. You know.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Rahima. We are coming up to the end, and I think that's such a great one to end on, such a great thought. There's so much more that I wanted to talk to, so maybe we'll do a part 2 of it, and not kind of just concentrating on this side of it with the children, but more so on the side of our mental health. And it was really good to have some practitioners in the house, i.e. Anthea, I didn't want to say, but it would be lovely if you could join me another time, because I think the roundtable discussion is really great. And some people didn't get to speak today. Maybe they didn't have anything that they had wanted to come on and say, but it was really nice to have you join us. Is there anything that either the people that didn't speak would like to add to what we spoke about, what we're speaking about? Carmel.
I don't mind to add a little bit. I think what was really interesting for us as a family was in the beginning, we had that moment of panic, as everybody else did, around what does this mean for us as a family now? And because I work for myself and my children are quite older, the first thing I did was called both my children home. They both were away at university. And I told them, if we're going into lockdown, we're doing it together. So both my boys came home at the first lockdown, and it was interesting just being in each other's space, because prior to that, my eldest had been away for about 3 years and my second 2 years. So it wasn't familiar having them home all the time. It's been a while. We only saw them on holidays. And having them home was interesting because we had so much rich conversation. The house was vibrant. We went from being just me, my daughter, and my husband to having a full house again of grown men, because they're literally 2 grown men. And the conversations, just really getting to know them as adults, because I'd always, and I think I will always, look at them as my little babies, but actually having that time to really look at them as adults and being a part of their adult life, that was really, really interesting for us. So the first lockdown was, it was interesting. I keep saying interesting because that's what it was. But because I'm in the events industry and I host an annual event, I was very aware that this year, well, last year, we wouldn't be able to do it. So I had to come up with something that would kind of fill in the gap. So we started a ladies' night in, which took place every week. Some of my ladies that I run attended. And it was just really a way, because we were shielding in my household. I had vulnerable people in my household. So we were shielding 24/7. And it was just really my way of being connected with the outside world and allow my children to also be connected with the outside world. And then it became a running joke that, you know, I don't leave my house. I've been locked down for 24/7. So when the first restrictions were lifted, I came out and I did this whole public display of it. I did a live video of myself walking through Woolwich so everyone could actually see it. Because nobody believes that I would actually come out again, because I literally was indoors, but I dress up in my heels. For my ladies' nights, I'd had my heels, my glass of wine. I made a big deal of it. But in terms of my children, what I did learn was, as much as I felt that I knew my youngest, I really didn't know her as much as I thought I did. And so going into that period of lockdown really gave me that opportunity to spend a lot of time with her. Because I always tell people that I've raised her to be very independent. I didn't want her to be a person that was self-conscious or questioned herself. I wanted her to be able to stand in her own right and be very independent. And that in doing so, I've created a lot of problems for myself because she uses that independence against me. But it was really interesting having that opportunity to really get to know her, who she was. And so it was funny hearing the ladies say about they put in all these routines and they became very regimented, because I did the opposite. I relaxed all my routines and I relaxed all the regimental type of approach, because my daughters, well, all my children are very academically gifted and they're very academically driven and they're self-motivated anyway. And I was just like, you know what, there's no more bedtimes, just do what you want when you want to do it, it's fine. And in the beginning, they kind of stuck to those kind of regimented way of life. But then I said to them, do you know what, this is a perfect opportunity for us to just be. And so my daughter became very creative. She's naturally creative anyway, but she did a whole load of art and she made stuff and she built stuff. And so for me, it was just a really nice experience being able to get to know my children again as individuals. I feel like we're a very tight family anyway, but lockdown showed me that I do not know them as much as I thought I knew them. And it gave me that opportunity really to just get to know them as individuals. And I think that was a blessing for us, just to be in each other's space and have that opportunity. It was amazing. Absolutely loved it.
I love that.
It.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great, Carmel, because I know what you do, Carmel, in you know, in the circles that we move in, and you know, just to seeing how you are as a parent away from the business life is just so inspiring. Yeah. That's really, really nice to hear. Really, really good, guys. Thank you so much, Carmel. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Naima, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, thank you for everyone who was sharing. Basically, like for me, I think the initial lockdown, I think like for most people was probably the worst one, because I had previously been in hospital in the February. I'd had a very severe kidney infection, and then when I was released, I had my follow-up examination, and then we were like, boom, in lockdown. And it wasn't like you were really emotionally prepared for anything like this, because like for me, I battle with chronic illness, fibromyalgia, so I'm kind of used to being at home, but not by force, you know. So it's just like, oh, like when you have something debilitating, you can't really do a lot of things, but you can kind of do them when you want to, if that makes sense. But in this case, I couldn't do anything. Like, you're just literally at home, and being in the house for like that 5 months for me was really, really difficult, because I was also battling from anxiety after my mom's death. So it was just a lot, and I kind of tried to get counseling and things like that. But it was just kind of trying to navigate all of that, and then seeing, people that I knew passing away, and it was just it was a lot, to be honest, and I think, on reflection, I'm a very self-reflective person, and I've become very self-aware, I would say, between 2020 and this year, which is a blessing. I went back to Marseille last year, which I had a really rough time there. I got sciatica. I couldn't do anything because I had started a pop-up in 2019 doing Caribbean food in Marseille, and I want to start my own Afro-Caribbean events and food business out there. And I just felt like all the plans and the ideas that I had, are just so uncertain, even now, with the travel restrictions and the fact that I don't agree with, just for my own personal beliefs, I don't agree with the vaccine. So because I just feel like there's still not enough research on that. And then with all the news that you're hearing that people are becoming sick, or they've died because of the results of the vaccine, it's just kind of not being helpful. But yeah, it's just, just all the news, and then, the media have their own agendas and how they share the news with people, and not understanding that so many people are battling with, mental health as a result of the lockdown. Not maybe it's highlighted issues that were already there, but not being addressed, if that makes sense. Yeah, so there's a lot, but I think just for me, it's just the uncertainty of everything, and is kind of still causing me some anxiety, because I want to be back in France. I don't want to be in London.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think I see a lot of heads nodding in, agreement with what you're saying, Naima. This uncertainty is one of the things that causes anxiety for all of us, as well as obviously worrying about whether this, illness is something that we are going to catch, whatever you want to call it. And then the sanctions that are being put upon us with the whole of COVID as well. Thank you, Anthea. Thanks so much. Yeah. Have a really great week down under. And I just thank you. Yeah. I just find we have to wrap up now, which is a shame, like I was saying, but I really did want to kind of speak on a bit of, I don't know, I think if we take, this will be the last bit. And I think as long as you don't have too much background noise, if you wish to speak, we could just have a section where we we kind of speak with one another or just put our things forwards. So as long as we don't do a lot of kerfuffle, I just want to say that for me, with this whole thing, I feel a lot of uncertainty. I feel not necessarily a lot of fear, but I don't really know what's going to happen for the future, and has given me a little bit of, I think in the last lockdown that we had, a little bit of frustration as to where I was going with my life. And also, if you have some ailments in your body, nothing is important than COVID. So you have to wait, can't get through to my doctors to book an appointment for any type of illnesses or ailments that we're working with. And I just feel frustrated. And that's my kind of last bit, my kind of take on it, the frustration, and also that I have to do things within a law or a warning or a sanction or something. I don't like living in that type of state.
Yeah, that's actually, as you know, that's my current situation at the moment, because I started having some severe pain in my left leg, and I kind of woke up with this pain, and I was just battling this pain for like a year and a half, and I didn't know. I was going to the A&E, and they were saying it's this, it was that, and this is like, that was before the lockdown. And then lockdown happened, and I was still trying to go to A&E with this pain, and they were just giving me conflicting reports, and just giving me medication. It wasn't even helping. And then January, I got diagnosed with osteoarthritis in my leg, and the doctor was just baffled that how they didn't notice this before. And yeah, so all the consultancy appointments that I was given were all canceled. Like, I would get probably to like a week before my appointment, and then they'll say, oh, it's because of COVID, or just sorry for the inconvenience with, I mean, it's understandable, but at the same time, it's just not acceptable, because, this is another thing that's causing people stress and fear, because they're not being, their health issues are not being taken seriously, and a lot of people have passed unnecessarily because they're not getting the right treatment. So yeah, there's a lot of things to be taken into consideration, and the how it really impacts us as a community, to be able to function correctly, as I'm not going to say normally, but just as we're supposed to as an individual, and just even having, I mean, I think, to be honest, all of this is also teachable moments as well. If I can pull any positivity out of this, I can definitely use these things as a testimony to my faith in God, and that if I even sometimes that my faith has been as small as a mustard seed, or even probably smaller, but it's also like definitely a testimony to God's faithfulness. And for me, like personally, it hasn't been easy. But I mean, for my children, my older two children don't live at home, but not being able to see my granddaughter was kind of a bit difficult. And she's almost 2. And, having that interaction with the family, she kind of didn't know us when we got to see her again, just trying to build back that bond with her. And yeah, I think my younger two, Elijah and Alicia, it didn't seem to really affect them because they're not like always out of the house all the time. Elijah probably a bit more than Alicia, but they just kept, their contact with their close friends who, we just had like one particular friend who would come to see Elijah. So he had consistent, contact with his friends. So it didn't seem to really affect them as much. Alicia's normally just in her room anyway, and talking with her friends online and stuff. So I think for work, for her, it was a bit difficult because she was furloughed, and, you know, but she was happy just to get the rest as well. So I don't know. Like you said, it's now the uncertainty of, you know, June's coming up. What's going to happen after June 21st? You know, is everything going to go back to normal? What is normal again? You know, because this is a new normal for everybody. You know, having to now adjust. Are we going to have to go into another wave? Like, you know, it's so unpredictable, you know, and I just think that just celebrate yourselves for coming through something so traumatic as this, you know. Just, you don't have to. I feel that a lot of things, like from last year, people felt, oh, they had to be constantly doing something. You know, for some people that's, you know, obviously there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes it's okay just to sit with yourself and just kind of reflect and be okay sometimes not doing anything, because rest is so important. And, you know, in this busy society, I think it's kind of been a blessing in disguise that people have been now forced to rest, you know, and it is so important for the mind and the body. So that's kind of where I want to leave it, to value the importance of rest and taking care of yourself mentally and physically and spiritually as well.
Yeah. Anybody got some last words they'd like to say before we round up?
I'd just like to say a lot of that Nima's just said, I agree with. I think it's been a time for us to reset. For me, I've kind of become my own doctor as I've gone along as well. I've gone on loads of different Zooms and I've learned what's good for the body.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm doing a 30-day fast, and I've found that my body has gone through so much changes, but I feel good. Aches and pains that I was getting before, I'm not getting. I've been introduced to sea moss and I'm having all different flavors. I'm having mango and lychee, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm taking vitamin D, you know, things that I didn't do before.
Yeah.
Iron, zinc, all the things that are so important for us. So, you know, in the past where I was so busy and rushing to the doctors each time I had a little pain or ache, I've kind of doing my own research now and able to, you know, this is good for this is good for that, and I'm trying all these different things and feeling better for it. So yeah, it's been a whole learning curve for so many different reasons.
Brilliant. Thanks, Dina. Let's go to Viv and then we go to Karima.
Yeah, just like what Dina just said, it's just been, I think, self-care, you know, it's really important. You know, I know we're mothers, but we need to kind of look after ourselves as well as moms, because you have to be well to be able to look after somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I mean, it's an uncertain time. So we've all had to just readjust our thinking, and so much uncertainty when you look at the news and different way of living, and we don't even know what's going to happen. So I just think we should just keep on, you know, we just need to clap for ourselves and know that we're doing brilliantly. We've done brilliantly. Mothers, we hold the families together.
Yeah.
You know, our kids look up to us, you know, we've done so well to even come through this whole year of up and down, you know, all those that started new businesses. Wow, you know, I mean, there's so much I wanted to do, but I haven't done, but I'm just proud of myself for the little bits I've done.
Yes.
And I just want to for us to just be proud of that, each of us, and just, you know, keep on, you know, and just, you know, yeah, and just look after ourselves, you know, self-care is important as well. And reflect on all the good things we're doing, and just be, you know, try to be happy, because, you know, joy, when you're happy as well, it helps your health as well. So, you know, that's all I've got to say, really.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thanks so much, Viv. Forward is a pace, people. Forward is a pace. And no matter how slow it is, you're thinking about it, you're trying to aspire to be that, it still is a pace. Karima, would you like to finish off for us?
Yeah, there's just one last thing I wanted to add to this, to not worry, because like, try, guys, not to worry. As mothers, as pillars of family, we are like, this lockdown, I think it's been designed to stress people more than it should.
Yeah.
Like, I have a belief that everything that's around the corona is not been organized in a way that to make it better, but it's used as like an opportunity for uh, getting people under control and moving to some bigger agenda. So, like, that's why we should stay positive, keep on the self-care routine, learn more about ourselves and about natural remedy ways to stay healthy naturally, and we will win this, because the corona is is less of that molecule, that virus is less of a danger than all the regulation that's been organized around it, all the mental health that is caused, all the business that's been closed down, all the people who lost their job, all the family who's been kept separated. So, like, I believe we should just not comply to what would not make sense. If it did not make sense, we should just stop comply, and move on with what is right, what feels right in our heart, and let our heart make more decision than our brain, and turn off the TV. That's it. That's
Turn
my
off the TV.
revolutionary talk now. Yeah, the TV has been stressing more people than it has helped.
Yeah,
Like,
I hear that.
That's
Thank
my
you.
opinion. I'm not forcing nobody to
No,
believe,
I hear
but
that.
I'm just encouraging others to question what's been put in our face.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you, Karima. Thank you. And
bless.
Thank you. And I think we have a lot of people in here that have it might seem like rebellious natures, but I think we are all put on this earth to think for ourselves. So whatever is said here today is only people's opinions. It's not for anybody to take and say, this is what we would like you to do. This is what we believe in, and this is how we feel individually. Okay. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming on to join me today. We will be having this once a month. So if you're free, do come back, and we'll be talking about different subjects every time. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.